Because if you target a disease by the nature of what you're doing, you're not actually going to address what's causing a disease. So if you focus on building health, it's the old adage of a rising tide lifts all boats. You're going to ideally address that issue and potential others that you might not even be aware of.
Have you ever thought of us being in an industry that we call the health industry, that we don't have a unified definition of the word health?
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing, isn't it? Because what are we all working towards?
And it's not just the absence of disease.
No, that just means you're not sick. That doesn't mean you're healthy. It means you could be in process. It's like that old internet dinner, that dial up, like loading. Wait for that loading bar to finish, then the symptom pops up.
Yeah. One thing you mentioned a second ago is that someone might come in and their physiology never lies. They might say that they're fine, they're doing great, and then you do your or your quantification assessments, and you see a lot of dysregulation. How much of a difference does their mindset and perspective of the stress make? So if I go in and I think that I'm doing great and I'm dysregulated, I'll still probably be in a better state than if I went to you, you ran the test, and I was stressed about being stressed.
Mm-hmm. I've seen certain pattern regulations, and it's a very interesting question, only because if someone is under chronic stress, but their mental fortitude and their ability to manage it as a concept is quite strong, then their initial baseline assessment actually shows up much better than you would think otherwise. But I figured out a little tool and a little trick that I do to figure out what someone's real pattern display might be. So I call it the hamster wheel. As long as you're on the wheel has a certain amount of inertia it generates, right? So the hardest part about getting a wheel started is the beginning.